Uh, top five fights that we're looking forward to most for the rest of 22. So I guess you could say one, and I'll say one, and we'll just go back and forth.
Okay, so I'm gonna steal this from you right away because
I know
I'm
which one
looking
you're
forward
saying.
to the most. Charles Oliveira versus Islam Makhachev,
Yeah,
Abu Dhabi, UFC 280. I am beyond excited for this fight. So excited.
same.
It
Oh,
finally we're
such a
gonna
good
see
fight.
Islam against Charles or Khabib against Charles. What would have probably happened
Yeah,
as Islam and Khabib are very similar. Um, I want to see who wins. Like we said, I we think Oliveira is gonna win, but who knows? Islam could end up winning. And I want to see if when Charles wins and he calls out Khabib, will Khabib return? That's what I'm wondering. That's what
I
I
don't,
want.
dude. I just don't see it. I don't see it happening. I know people like to discuss it, bro. Habib, he's just uncrackable. Like I feel like he's the kind of guy. Listen, the UFC tried to throw a boatload of money at him to come back, didn't work. He promised his mom, "Listen, this is gonna be my last fight. My dad's dead. I'm not doing this without my father." We know how religious Habib is. I just don't see him doing it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a sport. It's not like a war. There's no serious beef between them. If it was Connor, maybe, but I still don't think so. Oliveira doesn't listen. I think that I don't think Habib ever comes back ever. He could
But
do a grappling match. He has integrity. I think he's got too much integrity. Do I want him to come back? Hell yeah, but like I just don't see it happening.
yeah, well, I mean, I want
It'd
to
be
see
cool. It'd be
that would
cool.
be cool to just to see the call out and all that stuff. But
The two lightweight goats. First of all, if Charles beats Islam Makhachev, he's the lightweight goat.
oh, undisputed. You can't even argue with it
Yeah,
because like look at the
he
records. Like
yeah,
Charles fought, first of all, before anything, Charles fought Tony Ferguson, who Khabib, something always happened
never
before
fought.
them fighting. I know he wasn't in his prime, but he was just coming off a loss against Gaethje only. So he was still like thought to be one of the top guys in the division. Beat him. He beat Gaethje, who Khabib beat, but he beat him
Yeah,
quicker. He beat
Chandler, awesome win as
yeah, he
well.
beat Poirier, who Khabib
Kevin
also
Lee, bro.
he beat him a quicker also. All he would need is to beat Connor, but we all know Connor isn't the same anymore. So I don't even think that's even going to be impressive. But
If
he
he
would,
beats Makhachev, that's like
yeah,
holy. That's a
that's like
big.
he would have beaten. That's like him beating Khabib. I know
Yeah,
that they're not the same, but they're very similar styles. So I think he would for sure have to be considered a lightweight goat. But who knows though? Everyone loves Khabib. Seems to be like everyone seems to love Khabib. Everyone seems to like just go by his dominance,
yeah,
even though the competition was just not that great. Like he beat Al Quinta for the belt. Like
yeah.
I know that everything went wrong that week, but like, come on, Al Quinta in the title fight. Conor McGregor hasn't didn't fight for 2 years or whatever. Fought Khabib, not even a wrestler. Khabib won. It took him 4 rounds though to win. Uh, then he beat Dustin Poirier. It took him a few rounds to win, and he wasn't a wrestler either, or grappler. Real, I mean, I know he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but he's not a real threat on the ground or anything. Justin Gaethje, I know he's a wrestling background, but we saw how easily Charles submitted him, and it was harder for Khabib to do it. So I just yeah, especially if he beats Islam in like dominant fashion or like in the first round, like it finishes him. Like how can you not say he's the lightweight goat? Like how can
Yeah.
you, it would have been 13 wins in a 12 or 13 wins in a row at that point against all top guys, like in finishing every single fight but Tony Ferguson. You'd have to consider him the lightweight goat in that situation. So yeah, but yeah, what do you have is
Well, that's first of all, I know another one that I'm gonna steal from you, and we'll both say this. It's O'Malley versus Piotr Jan. That's gonna be on the same card. That's I mean, listen, we were bound to say both of those fights.
for sure.
So we're both going with that. That's just an excellent fight. I think Piotr Jan's gonna murk O'Malley. I think he's gonna I don't think he listen, he either TKOs him or he beats him up in a decision. But either way, I think O'Malley is going to get beat up badly. Who knows? If it's a slower decision, I won't be surprised. I just want to see how O'Malley fares against the beast that is Piotr Jan. Um, so what's the next fight for you?
John Jones versus Stipe at
Yeah,
UFC 281 at MSG.
big fight.
That's a
That's a
huge
big
fight.
one.
John Jones return fight, Stipe return fight. I think first we were saying that Stipe was going to win the fight, but as time goes by, I think Jones got it. I think he does. Stipe's 39 years old, hasn't fought in 2 years. Also, John Jones hasn't fought in 3 years, or pretty much 3 years. And I think it won't make it the rust ring. They're gonna have ring rust both. It won't make a difference. Like one of them isn't gonna feel. One of them isn't gonna be like not rusty. That let's just say that. So I would say they both gained a lot of weight, so they're not gonna be used to their weight.
Yeah,
Stipe apparently looks massive. John Jones, I'm sure, looks massive too. So I think both not used to their weight, and I think the younger guy, John Jones, wins. I think he'll win by decision likely. Um, I think he will dominate. Honestly, I really do. I think Stipe's 39 years old. Like his career is on the decline. I think he's taking a lot of wear. He's a lot of wear and tear. A lot of wear and tear. I know John Jones has fought in more UFC fights, but John Jones doesn't get hit much in his fights. It's one of the best. He gets hit one of the like we say. Max Holloway gets hit the most. John Jones gets hit the least out of any fighter. So he doesn't have that much wear and tear compared to other guys. So I think the younger, fresher guy wins that fight. But I'm really looking forward to that. Like, and I think that's going to be a fight that sells a ton of pay-per-views, which is going to be great for the UFC. So
yeah. That's a fight that I can't wait to see. If I had to choose another fight, I am gonna try to go with something that's a little less obvious. Obviously we're gonna do fights that are actually, pretty official. So we can't just speculate. I would say Hamzat, but he's not fighting an opponent that I'm really interested in. So I would say Corey Sandhagen, Song Yadong.
ooh,
That is a fight that I can't wait to see. Corey Sandhagen bouncing off of a loss against Piotr Jan that happened in Abu Dhabi last year. Even though he did lose, he looked great in that fight. I still think he won, you know, maybe 2 rounds.
yeah,
I could see Piotr winning 4-1, but either way, he was very competitive in that fight. He's got some of the best and most dangerous striking. He's a very complete fighter. And Song Yadong hits like a truck. Song Yadong's powerful. He's young. He's up and coming. He's great. I just think that this is a Corey Sandhagen. I think Corey Sandhagen is going to show him that there are levels, and I think he's going to show Song Yadong that he's a little bit green. However, Song Yadong's tough. I could still see this being a war, which is why I'm so excited for it. I think Sandhagen wins, but I'm hyped because I just think that's going to be a banger.
yeah.
I think
I think that's
Sandhagen's going to win though.
yeah.
I
I
think
think that's an exciting fight. I mean, to be honest, I was a bit surprised when they booked that
same.
as Sandhagen. I believe is number four in the
He's
division.
he's high. He's maybe
Yeah,
three.
and I thought that they would book him against a guy like maybe like Dominic Cruz, Marlon Vera, one of those guys. And yeah, but I like the fight regardless. I think it's gonna be an interesting fight. The power versus like I guess the more technical fighter.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it should be a pretty good fight. I think Sandhagen will probably win by decision, but we'll dive more into that fight as the weeks go by, as the weeks come by. But yeah, as and another fight, I'm looking forward to. I'm gonna say Dominic Cruz versus Marlon Vera.
That's going to be a banger,
I'm gonna
bro.
say that. I'm excited for that fight. I'm really excited.
Same. That's the day of my bodybuilding show too, but
Ooh,
thankfully my show and the finals of my show is in the early afternoon in the morning, so I'll be able to watch that
ooh.
and eat food and be relaxed. I can't
Oh,
freaking wait.
that's all. That's exciting. That's exciting.
San Diego, that's a great fight. That's going to be a war.
Yeah.
Um I'm picking Marlon Vera to win. I think Cruz is so good. He's really good. He tuned up um, Pedro Munoz in their last fight. He got dropped in that fight, and I think Vera is just Vera's unfinishable. Like he's unfinishable. I mean,
So good.
also when he fought Rob Font like landed an ungodly amount of strikes on Vera's face. He didn't have a single scratch on him. The dude is like a Terminator, and I know he can get hit a lot, but like he's really dangerous, and he has power. He can drop guys. He's big. He's a physical
He's
presence. He's got a
unorthodox.
great cardio, unorthodox. I just see him like marching right up to Cruz. I know Cruz is great footwork, but dude, he's gonna find Dominic Cruz's chin like throughout the 5 rounds. I think he's gonna break him.
Yeah, I think
He's young. He's younger too.
I think it's gonna be unfortunate to see it, but I think I think Marlon Vera is gonna win that fight by TKO.
I
I
think
think
so too.
maybe in the third round or something. I think Dominic Cruz, absolute legend, greatest bantamweight ever. It's not even a discussion at this point. He's like 36 years old though, and I think Marlon Vera is on the rise. He hits super hard, and I think he's gonna find find an opening in round three, and I think he's gonna knock him down and finish him with some ground and pound.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think I think I don't think there's much people in that division who could beat Marlon Vera. Honestly, Peter Yan maybe, Aljo, but like who even knows with those guys? Like he's a beast. Like you say, he's a bit hittable, but his cardio is unreal.
I'd like to see a
Super
rematch
hard.
with O'Malley. I
Yeah,
think
that's
O'Malley.
the.
I'd like to see a rematch with
How
O'Malley.
about this is what I want to see. So what if so let's say Marlon Vera wins the fight, O'Malley loses the fight. Do you think
I don't think they would make that. I think that Marlon Vera would be too high up the rankings. I think they'd want to give O'Malley a winnable fight.
yeah.
I think they'd probably pair Vera with the winner of Sanhagen and Song Yadong instead. That being said, who knows? Maybe they want O'Malley to get to the belt anyway. But like if he loses to Piotr Jan's getting the next title shot. If O'Malley, let's say he does get by Vera, he's up there with Jan, he's up there with Aljo. I think he gets beat by those guys. So I don't think the UFC would be in any rush to put O'Malley in a number one contender spot. And I think that that's what Cruz and Vera are fighting for. I think, in a few weeks, they're fighting for a number one contender shot.
Damn.
So
Damn.
I don't I want them to make that O'Malley fight, but I just don't see it happening. I hope it does.
So you're saying
If
the
O'Malley
winner,
loses,
so you're saying if the O'Malley fight is not the number one contender fight, or are you saying it is
maybe he could fight the loser of this. How about that? I think O'Malley could fight Dominic Cruz if he loses,
okay.
or
Okay,
he could fight Vera if Vera loses.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I think
'Cause
I think
I'm not giving O'Malley a chance in that Jan fight. The more I think about it, I just don't give him a
the
dude.
thing is
Jan is he grew up he grew up working on like ships in Siberia as like a 5-year-old. He was stacking crates on ships. He's
beast.
just too tough. He's too hard. I think O'Malley is just listen, he's tough. He's a great fighter, but like he's just you have a guy who's out here vlogging his trip to Miami and smoking all the time, and then you have Piotr Jan who's just
Working.
always working. I just can't. And Piotr Jan on top of that is just he's got amazing technique too.
Yeah.
And he's a great grappler as well. So I just don't see it.
Yeah, and I don't get the appeal to that fight. Like we talked about last week. Like, look,
Yeah.
a 3-round match gives Sean the best chance of winning.
Yes.
But at the same time, if he loses, he's not going up a ranking. He's going to be number 13 still.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, or whatever he is. Like, I just think it's there's just not much to gain from this fight.
Honestly, bro, I'm just gonna say it. I don't mean to jinx it. I think that fight's gonna fall through. I just have a feeling that we're not actually gonna see it. That's the worst. It sucks. I want to see it now, but like,
Why do you
I'm
think
telling
that?
you, I just have a feeling that fight is just too good to be true. I mean, it's not that great because I think it's a bit of a mismatch, but I just have a feeling that, in October or it's September, we're gonna see some posts on our Instagram feed saying O'Malley out or Piotr Jan visa issue. You know what I mean? I could see it
I
happening.
have a theory now. After you said that, I have a theory. I'm gonna put this on record. We're
Okay.
gonna see what happens. TJ Dillashaw gets popped for a steroid, isn't allowed to fight in the main event. Peter Yan goes up to fight in the main event, and they book Sean against a random opponent.
Honestly, I could see that happening. I don't think TJ's gonna pop though, but I could see, bro. I know he's popped once. I think he's gonna play it really safe. But I think that's interesting. That's an interesting. If that did happen, that'd be perfect. If that
Yeah,
did happen.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Or he gets hurt or something. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I can definitely. I agree with you. I can see that not happening, and because I mean, or yeah, or someone in the main event like falling through or something. I don't, or the co-main falling through. But yeah, yeah, you're right. What?
Another fight. I
Yeah,
would
we have
say.
one more. We've got one more, I
Yeah.
believe.
Well, let's do one more each. Paulo Costa and Luke Rockhold.
Ooh,
I can't wait for that.
yeah,
I just see Rockhold getting KO'd, unfortunately.
yeah,
I want him to win. I like Paulo Costa. I love his fight style. He's a great fighter. He's a beast. I love it. He's very entertaining. Brings on great fights. But I want Rockhold to win. Like I've watched Rockhold get knocked out so much. I've watched him hype himself up and lose. It'd be really cool to see him actually get a win. I just don't see it happening.
no. And I think I think they set that fight up for Paulo Costa to get a knockout and win. I believe that that's what the fight was set up for. It
And
was
Rockhold
almost
took
like
it though. Like he's such a beat. Like
yeah, like
I respect it, man.
I respect it, and I think it reminds me of the situation when Francis Ngannou was coming up, and they gave him he fought what's his name?
Kane
No, no,
Junior,
the guy who got knocked out a bunch towards the end of his career. I'm blanking on his name.
Junior Dos
He's
Santos.
got a long name. He's got a long name. Alex Oak
Oh, fucking a. The guy he
France.
used to be a champ, the Russian
I don't know.
guy.
If he was in it. He was a kid. He fought a bunch in kickboxing or Muay Thai. Francis Ngannou. Oh, I'm blanking. Ngannou.
Rosenstrike, bro.
No,
You're talking about the vet, the pit bull. Oh,
no, no.
Arlovsky. Ar-
Alistair Overeem.
oh,
Yes, this is what reminds me of the Francis Ngannou Overeem fight. It's a fight that's set up for them to get a finish. They take a guy like Costa,
I
who's
think
coming
they
out to
want
Boston.
Costa to get close to that because Costa's been a bad employee, bro. He's missed weight. He didn't deliver for the Adesanya fight. He's been a disappointment. I think if anything, I think they want Costa to do well because he's a banger. He puts on great fights. That being said, he's been a shit cunt. Let's be honest. He's missed weight by like 20 pounds. He was the biggest disappointment against Adesanya when we all, a lot of us thought he was going to win that. But I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting fight. I mean,
I can't wait. That's on the Usman card. That's a big card, by the way.
yeah.
They also have we also got Marab and Aldo, which is another fight.
That's the fight I was gonna say. That was my
Yeah.
last fight I was gonna say.
So
Aldo
what
versus
do you
Morales.
have in that?
That's a
I'm going with Aldo. I think Aldo's a fucking beast, bro. And at this bantamweight, dude. Also, check this out. Aldo, I think he has some of the best takedown defense of all time.
mhm.
So I think that listen, Aldo's striking is so technical. I know Marab hits hard, but Marab almost got finished by Marlon Moraes, and Marlon Moraes has got good striking, but he's also got the worst chin, one of the worst chins in the UFC history. Towards the end of his career, and he was going to war with Marlon. I just think Aldo whoops him up for 3 rounds,
I
but yeah,
I got Marab.
you think he's going to take him down?
I don't think he takes him down. I think he knocks out Aldo. I think Marab finishes him.
What? What about what do you see that leads to that? Like, because all those strengths.
What I see,
Remember, who did Aldo beat Rob Font? That was his win.
I
He beat
Marab
Marlon
also
Vera
is a lot
too.
more.
He's
Marab is a
beat
lot more.
Vera. He's beat. Yeah,
Marab also has got a lot more power than. Can you hear me?
yeah.
Oh, sorry, we got a bit connection issue. Sorry, guys. Marab has a lot more power than Rob Font, though, and I think Aldo. Yeah, you said he's one of the greatest takedown defense. He's some of the best takedown defense out of anybody, but he still has to focus on Marab's takedowns. And I see him like focusing on the takedowns and Marab finding an overhand right, clipping.
Okay.
Um, and I think him going to the ground and finishing him by ground and pound. I just the Aldo thing. I just
I
feel
could
like the
see it.
Aldo.
I could see it. I mean, it's not like Aldo's invincible. He's been beat, but the thing is, he's only been beat by the very best. That Connor in his heyday, Volkanovski, Max, and then Piotr Jan.
Yeah,
Other than that,
he's
Aldo's
good.
beat literally everyone else.
I just think he's getting
And
old though.
uh, but here's the thing about Aldo. I know, like, first of all, he's only, in my opinion, he's only lost one fight at bantamweight. That was against Petr Yan. His first fight at bantamweight, he lost on paper, was against Marlon Moraes. He won that fight. I think all the fans know he won that fight. That was a big robbery. Then he beat Marlon Vera after the Petr Yan fight, and then he beat Rob Font. Those are two really good wins. Rob Font's one of the best strikers in that division.
Mhm.
Marlon Vera, we know how tough he is. And given that Aldo is one of the best anti wrestlers that the UFC has ever seen, I just listen. I could see Marab, the younger guy who's a little bit fresher, getting that win, but I think it's very unlikely. I think this is a tailor-made matchup for Aldo, and I still think Aldo is kicking ass because he's not that old. He's got a lot of years on him, but I think that the Aldo that we're seeing today is arguably one of the best Aldos that we've ever seen because even when he was at featherweight as champion, he's made improvements. His striking, I mean, think about it. He dropped down a weight class. Guys are faster at bantamweight. Guys are quicker. They might even be more technical. And he's not only succeeding, but he's beating the top guys. I think he's as I don't think he's missed a step. I think people say that he's way past his prime. I disagree. I think Aldo is honestly one of the most impressive fighters ever. I think Aldo's top 15 all time greats.